Hello beer tubers and welcome to yet another beer review with me, Peter the Master of Habits, still here in San Luis Obispo. Today we're going to be looking at another Lost Abbey beer, a limited release Lost Abbey beer. And this is the 2011 vintage of Cuvee de Tomme on 11%. Now this is a beer that gets quite a decent amount of hate because they have trouble carbonating it because it's one of the most sour, like highest pH level beers and stuff like that. So I saw like Tantrum 77 and Stumpy Joe Jr.'s review of this, of the 2010 version, which they were quite disappointed in. But I hear that this should be better. And what this is basically their Judgment Day quad that they brew with raisins. Then what they do is that they age it in bourbon barrels and then add in souring agents like bacteria and along with tart sour cherries. Which sounds really good to me. Sounds like a really interesting beer. I haven't had this before, so this should be really interesting to try, especially because it's like a limited release beer as well. So let's check out Cuvee de Tomme. Beer actually started out at Pizza Port, called Pizza Port Cuvee de Tomme, where it was in big 750s. I think actually you can find still one of the Beer Hunter videos. You can find Michael Jackson trying it. Now, I'm not the biggest, depending on the beer, I don't mind lack of carbonation too much, but usually I want my sours carbonated, but very ugly looking beer, actually. It does gather a little bit of a darker head to it, like a small bubbly, what's that, beige-ish. The color is like a muddy, rusted brown, kind of, not very good looking beer, but I can kind of smell the tartness already, but let's check out the aroma. A lot of raisins and a lot of oak. Smells really sweet, almost like barley wine character, but with sourness. Maybe a little bit of brown sugary sweetness, but lots of raisins, the tart cherries, oakiness, vanilla. Quite vinous. Smells a little bit like, oh yeah, I believe it's aged in red wine barrels too, and then they blend it. I think it's something like that, oak wine barrels, but definitely get that red grape kind of aroma to it. I get almost like a spicy kick to it, which probably is from the quad, but very oaky and vanilla forward. The aroma is actually pretty nice, and the tartness kind of fades a little, and you get a little more complexity the more you smell it. But yeah, it smells like a fairly interesting beer. So yeah, let's give Cuvee de Tomme a taste. Cheers. That's not too tart. It's got a little bit of tartness. Almost dead flat. The carbonation is barely there. Not a very carbonated beer. Almost drinks like a wine. 11% alcohol isn't really, well, there's a slight alcohol warmth to it, but it's very well hidden in there. Body, medium. Without the carbonation, it makes kind of for a watery / dry mouthfeel, which isn't too nice. Almost like, kind of like one in a wine, the mouthfeel. Tart cherry flavor is the sourness you get. And then a lot of the oak quality. A lot of the bourbony kind of flavor. And it's also quite vinous. I get a lot of red grape character to it. Brown sugar in there. Kind of like a caramel. It's kind of like a cross between like the quad / barley wine kind of ordeal with sourness. I think it's pretty interesting. It grows on me the more I drink it, actually. And I'm sure there's a lot of people who wouldn't like this at all because of the lack of carbonation. But yeah, a little bit of an oaky, tanniny flavor in there as well. The darker fruits, and again, a little bit of an almost spice flavor to it, along with some brown sugar. Pretty complex, actually, and pretty interesting, but not like the best beer I've had from Lost Abbey. I like it, but I would have liked a little carbonation and a little, maybe, bigger mouthfeel for 11%. The best sour I've had from them must still be, like, the Trek 5. That was really tasty. That's one of the better ones. But Red Poppy is really good too, and Framboise Amorosa is really good as well. This is also a really good beer, but it doesn't go up in the 90s range. Rating wise for me, I'm gonna give it an 83. It's a pretty good, really good beer actually, but I wanted a little more carbonation and mouthfeel on this one. And I had kind of higher expectations to it as well. But apparently this batch is better than the last one, which is kind of a good thing. But just get a little carbonation in there and this would be awesome. So yeah guys, that does it for the beer review of the Lost Abbey Cuvee de Tomme. Remember to let me know what you think of this brewery if you've had it. I'd love to get some feedback on this one because this is one of the beers that kind of splits the water. So that would be interesting to get some feedback on. As always, remember to comment, subscribe, check out the Facebook fan page and Twitter. And I'm going to say cheers. And I want to see you guys in another beer review.